Interesting package there. What are your thoughts as regards religion, prophecies, and politics? Share with us, tweet at News Central TV. Now, still talking on election countdown Nigeria, the Supreme Court in Abuja yesterday has postponed the hearing of a suit banning the use of the old Naira to Wednesday, the 22nd of February 2023, which is just a few days to the presidential election. And this is done to allow it to consolidate all cases on the matter emanating from 9 more states of the Federation seeking to be joined in the suit. However, 9 more states have been joined as parties to the suit initially filed by 3 states, which were Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara state governments, who were challenging the legality of the Naira swap policy of the federal government. Joining us this morning is Public Affairs Analyst Ugochukwu Patrick. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
I'd like to start the conversation this morning on a much lighter note. You saw the video about religion and politics, and I'd like to find out what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think your Nigerians are too religious for our own good. I think that we need to look at matters, look at them for what it is, right, and not just bring God into issues of politics, right. Let's go out there and let's vote in the best candidates.
All right. And then we will come back to talk more about this. I'd like to find out how you've been holding up before we go into the meat of, what the president has said in addressing the nation about the Naira note. But we'll want a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk some more about this. This is still Election Countdown Nigeria. Please don't go away. Welcome back to Election Countdown Nigeria. Today, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria addressed the nation. And just in case you missed it, a lot of conversations, a lot of points were highlighted. And one of them was as regards the challenges caused by the old and the redesigned Naira notes. Let's take a look.
200 Naira banknotes be released back into circulation, and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10th, 2023 to April 10th, 2023, when the old 200 Naira notes ceases to be legal tender. In line with Section 20, subsection 3 of the CBN Act 2007, all existing old 1,000 Naira and 500 Naira notes remain redeemable at CBN and designated points. Considering the health of our economy and the legacy we must bequeath to the next administration and future generations of Nigerians, I admonish every citizen to strive harder to make their deposits by taking advantage of the platforms and windows being provided by the CBN.
And that is a clip of the president addressing the nation, talking about the Naira note. We're still joined by Public Affairs Analyst Ugochukwu Patrick. Thank you very much for being here with us. You've seen that video. First of all, I think, did you see this? Did you think that the president was going to extend this? And how do you feel about it?
No, so personally I thought it was going to follow through with the earlier announcement from last year and the one that followed a couple of days in February, right? But I think that what you're seeing is in reaction to the widespread protest and unrest that we saw in Benin, and particularly in Delta and in Oyo State, right, where you had burning of tires and roadblocks. And you'd have to say that the president is being pragmatic. 9 days out to general elections, he's looking and saying, we want calm and peace across the nation so we can hold these elections. And I think it's also a way to burnish his legacy. He's got 3 months left on his job, and I think that he really wants to, deliver free, fair, and credible elections to Nigerians to burnish his legacy, going out.
So when you say that he's trying to deliver free, fair, and credible elections,
yes,
one of the reasons why the Naira was redesigned, even though it's not like a popularly stated reason, but part of the conversation we had was about the vote buying, being able to curb vote buying. Yes. Do you foresee that this might be a challenge in the coming elections as to the ability to deliver free, fair, and credible elections? Because now there's access to Naira.
So I would say that the redesign policy was, it's a very good one, and I think it's very idealistic. But when you look at the unintended consequences on the lives of Nigerians, he's got to be pragmatic. He's got to look at it and say, let's be realistic here. People are suffering. They can't access their own money. Banks are being burnt. so much unrest that can catalyze into real chaos and
I agree with you on all of that. I agree with you. But now that he's saying that both notes can run concurrently up until after the elections, do you foresee that there will be an increased case of vote buying during the elections?
Of course, that's going to play out. This is Nigerian politics, and most of Nigerian politics is governed by vote buying on election day. And I know that part of the reason why he brought about this redesign policy was to curb vote buying. But you've got to look at it, and in the long run, it's a failure of implementation, right, from the central bank to make sure that there are enough notes circulating in the country. It's going to be vote buying, no doubt about that. The problem is whether Nigerians would eschew the vote buying and then vote for credible candidates, regardless of whether anyone's going to offer them money or not.
All right, now let's talk about the impact that this has had. And I'd like to ask you, because you're a Nigerian as well, living in Nigeria, how this has personally impacted you. What's your story with regards to the Naira?
I think just like every Nigerian, we've all adjusted to it, right? We've found ways to, first of all, access cash. And the second thing we've found ways around is transferring money, right? And then just making sure that if you have a vendor who sells household items, right, you go to the person, you transfer a particular amount of money, and then when you're taking your change back from the person, you ask the person to give you more Naira notes that you can use in your daily activities. We've adjusted, but I think that in the long run, we have to look at ourselves as a people and say, how long we are adjusting can we keep doing? We need to vote in leaders in February 25 and March. Leaders who can execute on their plans and execute efficiently.
All right, and let's talk about the suit. We did have 3 states initially that had sued the federal government, right, as regards the use of the Naira notes and to extend the use of the old Naira notes. I'm sure they're happy to see what's happening now. And there are still more states now. It's about 9 states. Some of the conversations we've heard would be that we've seen more agitation about this Naira note than we've seen about all the other issues that Nigerians have had. So would you say that there is some underlying personal interests that can be displayed, as outrightly displayed by this action? And what are your thoughts about that?
I think that to a higher degree, there's little shadow of doubt that these suits, right, emanating from several governors, including APC and PDP governors, shows that there are underlying personal interests in here. I mean, throughout last year, you had 8 months where university students were at home. You got banditry in the north. You got the train attacks of last year. You got so many social issues that Nigerians have gone through in the last 78 years. And then these governors haven't particularly gone out to meet the president on these pressing issues, and even taking the government to court on these pressing issues. So it is an anomaly, and it also shows that a lot of personal interest is the main driver behind these suits at the Supreme Court. And
what are your projections? We're counting down to the elections in 9 days. There have been speculations by some people that the elections might be moved. Do you foresee that might happen? Also, in terms of voter apathy, this year seems to have been the year where more Nigerians than usual have expressed interest in coming out and being a part of the elections. But we're seeing riots breaking out in different parts of the country. We're seeing protests, which we hope will be held as a result of the announcement by the president. But do you foresee that there might be incidents of voter apathy that would reduce people's participation in the elections this year?
No, I do not think so. I think that a lot of Nigerians are looking forward to the elections on February 25th. I think that these protests and unrest across the country will only galvanize and push people forward to go out there on February 25 and vote, and vote in the best candidates that they think would represent their interests across the next 4 years. I don't think you're going to have voter apathy. You might have incidences of people, being unable to travel back home because they can't access cash. But I do think that you're going to witness a large turnout of Nigerians, and people are going to speak with their PVC this time around.
And I'm hoping that the large turnout of Nigerians are involving those of you who are watching us right now, and that you go out to vote on that day, because your vote is a very important part of your right as a Nigerian. You do not want to neglect that, and you do not have a right to complain if you do not go out to vote for a change. And there are some people who say that their votes, they wouldn't go to vote because they feel that their vote will not be counted. And a lot of time my answer to that would be, if you don't play your part, then you can't complain that you haven't seen the change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also tell people when I'm out there is, is that if your votes didn't count, the politicians won't be trying to buy it in the first place, right? If your votes didn't count, they won't be trying to snatch the ballots in certain areas of Lagos State, right? Your votes count, and that's why you go to the polling booth to to try to give you cash in exchange for your votes. So your votes will count, and with the electoral reform and also the use of bypass, your votes will surely count in 2023.
All right, fingers crossed. Thank you, Gochuku Patrick, for joining us and for spending your time with us this morning on Breakfast Central's Election Countdown Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, as a reminder to you that your votes count and you mustn't sell your vote. You should participate. It is your right. Please take a look at this video.
Stop below, and I will not sell my vote, and I'm also imploring and begging the general member of the public not to also sell their votes for peanuts.
Hi, my name is Ayanyenka Shegones Johnson. I won't sell my right. I won't sell my votes for any reason.
My name is Martins. Okay, I will not sell my vote. My vote is my right. My vote is my power.
My name is Esther Ogunaike. My vote is my right. I can never sell my vote.
Okay, I am Afolashade Oyediro. My vote is my right. I will never sell my vote.
I no go sell my vote. My vote is my right. My right is my right. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your rights.